got a population gap to fill over the next decade or so, with about 136,000 more people aged 45 to 65 than there are 25 to 45-year-olds to replace them. The Allegheny Conference contends that it's as big a challenge going forward for our region as smoke control and rebuilding the economy were over the past couple of generations. To meet the challenge, the conference is seeking support from across our region for 3 overlapping strategies designed to close the gap over a course of a decade or more. The strategies focus on improving infrastructure to better connect people and employers to opportunity and to each other, linking economic and community development to attract business investment in target industries to our region, and where possible into communities that have been left behind by our economic recovery. And first among equals may be the people strategy, which will seek to educate, train, and attract skilled workers to fill the new jobs being created in the region and the jobs of the baby boomers who are beginning to retire. Many employers are already feeling the squeeze. Sarah Oliver Carter joins us from the Carnegie Library in Oakland, site of the conference's recent annual meeting. She's Vice President of Inclusion and Diversity at Highmark Health. And here in studio is Laura Fisher, Senior Vice President of the Allegheny Conference and the staff lead on the new people strategy. And welcome to you both.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Yeah, Laura, a little while ago, Dennis Yablonsky, the CEO of the conference, laid out this challenge we have in terms of population and demographics. He was talking about population in general. How does this translate into the workforce issue?
Well, I think one interesting thing we're seeing right now is that through our ImaginePittsburgh.com jobs aggregator, we've got about 24,000 open jobs. We've had that number of open jobs for several years now, but our unemployment rate's been going down. So it tells us there is continuing demand, and what we hear from employers is that there is a continuing mismatch of the skill sets they're looking for and the skill sets their applicants are demonstrating.
Well, I wonder, Sarah Oliver Carter, is Highmark seeing this issue already, both in terms of sort of the population and the actual skills that are available in the workforce?
Absolutely. Highmark has been focused on this issue for a long time. It's one of our critical components of our strategy, so we're looking to increase diversity and address the gap in terms of employment.
And is it really a challenge here in our region as well? I mean, we heard the statistics about our demographics and getting older. We're also not the most diverse place in America.
It is a huge challenge in the region. What we do know is that Pittsburgh is currently lagging in terms of population, and that we really need to grow the population. And what other cities have done is they've grown it through immigration. We haven't had that opportunity. We've kind of lost those numbers, so we really need to focus on that. So some of the things that Highmark is doing is creating opportunity for diverse talent to come to the city and be included in a number of opportunities and initiatives. And so we're looking to build partnerships and continuing to look at opportunities to bring really strong, diverse talent into the organization.
So what do you think the payoff is for a company like Highmark when it comes to having a diverse workforce?
When you have a diverse group of people, much more innovative, brings a lot of good and great ideas into the organization and pushes the business forward. This is really critical for Highmark.
I wonder what the initiatives are that the Allegheny Conference is going to work on within this new people strategy.
Well, we're still looking at how we're going to approach this, but certainly we need to get a better understanding of what this demographic gap really means. We know that some sectors, energy and manufacturing among them, are those across the country that are aging out the fastest, meaning they have the most number of older workers. So I think part of what we want to get our arms around is this whole issue of supply and demand. Are we going to have the right people at the right time with the right skills?
So kind of understanding how this is unfolding or is going to unfold over the next decade
and
or
over
so.
what period of time. And are older people, and to what extent are older people going to stay in the workforce? And I think it's both a challenge, but it's also a real opportunity for us, because we know we not only need to attract talent to the region, we have to have a place that's able to retain them as well. But we know that there are a lot of people in our region that are unemployed or underemployed, and so we really have an opportunity to do a much better job through the whole education and training pipeline of getting people the skills they need to have great family-sustaining jobs going forward. So it's an effort that's going to let us and force us really to be more inclusive in almost every direction in what we do.
Sounds like there's a need to begin to really put the meat on the bones. I wonder, Sarah, at Highmark, do you have any strategies that are really paying off, that work?
Time and time again, they're paying off. We've been able to retain talent and attract new talent based on what the talent that we have has said around Highmark's a good place to work. They're very inclusive. They value all of those things that I bring to the organization. And quite frankly, they listen. And so there's opportunity here.
Oh, you know, Highmark's a really big employer. Do you think any of the things you're doing actually apply to small and mid-sized companies as well?
Absolutely. I think that there are a number of strategies that small businesses can use, especially the inclusion practice. Making people feel valued in their space is really, really key. And that's kind of understanding culture, helping people to, get in and get involved, and just bringing value to the organization is really, really, really critical. And I think that any business, small or large, could practice that.
Well, I wonder, we've heard what Highmark is doing. So what's next for the Allegheny Conference in terms of really beginning to address this people issue that we have?
Well, I think we're going to continue to look at sort of two broad categories of work. One is around this whole idea of attracting and retaining talent. And we've been looking particularly at what we're calling populations on the move, people that are looking for opportunity and are willing to relocate for that opportunity. That may mean our college graduates and doing a better job of keeping more of them here, and reaching out to populations like our veteran population who are also looking to take that step into civilian occupations. And we're also going to continue the work in a more focused way that we've been doing around this whole pipeline of building a well-prepared workforce, really understanding, as we have now with the work we've done in energy and manufacturing, what the common job occupations are, where the demand really is, and what the core competencies or skill sets are that companies are looking for, so that we can really help both industry and educators get better connected to really develop the right training pipeline for the workforce we need to build.
It really sounds like on both fronts, whether it's attracting and retaining or developing from within, it's going to take a lot of collaboration by a lot of organizations and individuals to really pull this off.
Absolutely, and I think it's part of the opportunity we have. What we saw in the energy and manufacturing analysis we did 2 years ago is that there are common high demand occupations across sectors that most people on the surface wouldn't think would have any commonality at all. So we see an opportunity in spaces like IT, for instance, and there's a heavy IT component in almost 60% of all the open jobs in the region. So IT permeates every industry and every sector. So we think there's an opportunity not only to bring the training community, the workforce system, the nonprofits into a partnership, but also more and more members of industry who have like need but may not have had a forum for really talking about how to develop a bigger pool of talent.
Well, a lot to think about, a lot of opportunity to work together. Laura Fisher from the Allegheny Conference, Sarah Oliver Carter from Highmark. Thank you both so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we'll be hitting the road to McKees Rocks to learn about a related strategy, this one focused on economy and community, to create the jobs of the future and communities that can attract them. Stay with us.